Hello, hello. Happy Friday. Let's get this all set up. Yeah, so today is going to be probably mostly game design. Adam is planning to do some game design today. I guess a little bit of game design and a little bit of development. He still wants to figure out exactly how Checkpoint 2 is going to pan out, since he wants to get another round of playtesting in at the beginning of August. Yeah. Hey, Air Hogan. Hey, David. I got beaten. The rain is over. So, yeah, yesterday I bought a bunch of assets. I got to finish this, of course. I bought a bunch of assets. I had some ideas. There's actually a meta idea that I had, which is planning game design is easier when playing game music in the background. And I had this idea a long time ago. So yesterday I tried it out and I'm like, okay, you know what? I will buy a couple of these packs. So I bought tiny swords. I have an idea of what to do with this, but it's kind of crazy. And I bought this one, which I didn't have a game idea yet either for, and still don't really. I have some like kind of general ideas, but I like the art. I think it's pretty good. So yeah, I spent a bunch of money yesterday on all this stuff. Hey, Chili. My first time ever. Yeah, morning, David. Hey, Rod. Happy 5 months. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, nice to see everybody. Hope you're all doing well today. Okay, so let's start with a couple of dev tasks. I want to weave these in since they're going to mostly be AI probably. And then the game design stuff we can do while we're waiting. So first, let's take a look at this. I did some work yesterday. I did it mostly on this particular game. I forgot what exactly I did. Oh yeah, I added these little meters. The chest fills up, and then when you open it, now based on how filled the meter is, you get more items. And I did something else. I think I added in some, let's see. I added in some other perks here. So you can now upgrade how many item displays you have, how many treasure stands you have. So you can get quite a lot here. Yeah, anyway, I like it. So the thing I wanted to look into though is in the farming game, I added a dialogue thing to the chair. You feel an overwhelming sense of peace wash over you, knowing that this chair could serve as a resting spot for you. Yeah, so that's it. That's all this does. There's probably a way to mess this up. And yeah, like maybe if it's when you first enter, if I do this, does this happen again? So I need to go over to the chair pretty much immediately. Oops. I kind of messed that up. Let's try again. Let's throw this thing too. There. Yeah. All right. That's good enough. Whatever. Let's look at the code. So there's now a shape on the chair. Sounds good. I think serve as a resting spot is probably good enough. Try start dialogue. Yep, this is fine. Looks good. What do we pass in? The dialogue start node name. Sounds good. Oh, dialogue interactable. Interesting. Not sure I like that. Doesn't that mean we had to modify each of these scenes? I should see it here. Yeah, here it is. Community center chair. Where are the other ones? Fake NPC dialogue 1 and 2. This is not new though, so we already had this. Interesting. Wait, so then why this was moved to its own class? Where is this used? Interesting. Okay. So yeah, we had this and we're just using it in a different way. This is fine, except for now I need to run the localization thing again, right? Update all localizations. Because it's going to modify this file, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it says for you, and I got rid of the for you. So now it just says, you feel an overwhelming sense of peace wash over you, knowing that this chair could serve as a resting spot. I think it's slightly better. In fact, the wash over you part could also be deleted. Let's workshop this a little bit. So here's the original. Here's one way we could do it. And here's another way. I don't think this is the best. I don't like this one. I think I like this one the best. Cut out another few words. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's go check that in. Add chair dialogue to the farming game. Community center. All right, so I want to kick off another dev task here. And I have finished designing the loot boxes game. How is it broken? How is it fun? Maybe that's what we should do first. Let's go take a look at it again. Yeah, we have the basics. You can buy a treasure chest. You can wait for this thing to fill up. I'm not certain I even like that. It's not super clear what it is. The treasure spirit could tell you. Maybe they're the person you talk to just to get the tutorial at the beginning. And buying a treasure chest is triggered from the stands. I'm a little concerned that people won't. Well, I don't know. We need a tutorial text thing to guide them. I also added a dialogue for "Are you sure you want to leave?" Yeah, and I added a floating text too. It might take a while for them to actually come by this. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, so now we can buy some more stuff. I like the idea of upgrading this. We need a proper font in this game, or I just don't use bold anymore. We need a font. Like bold tooltip text is choppy due to the font use. Yeah, you can see these little glitches in the letters where glyphs meet. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. Yeah, like this. This is not how the number 1 is supposed to look. All right, what do we kick off then? Maybe we don't do anything in particular. Maybe we just do some planning here. This design doc has gotten a little bit out of control in terms of how long it takes to load and how long it takes to edit sometimes. I don't think it's unmanageable from an organization perspective, and I can always add more tabs. But like this is 91 pages long. So loot boxes design. As long as I can type just fine, then I don't really care. So yeah, we need to answer some questions here. Make sure you can't soft lock yourself. There should always be a way to earn money. And if there isn't, then we should fudge the numbers. Where are the other questions that I had here? Yeah, is the game fun? Does it make sense? Let's put all this stuff over here. Questions. Should wooden chests be free. That way you can always progress. Any other questions that I had for this? If they're not free, I need to figure out how the game is broken. Yeah, how is the game broken exactly? I think we've already answered this. I know we've already answered it. I wonder if it's compelling enough. And I think it's compelling enough. Any other questions I had here? Oh yeah, what should the other upgrades be? And is the chest opening mechanic as apparent as it can be? I know what I'm leaning toward for some of this. Hey, Chef Elton. Hey, Seshamara. I know what I'm leaning toward for some of this. Okay, the stream can get started now. Yeah. Okay, so the how is the game broken bit. The current answer is you're able to get the portal and then leave immediately. I don't think this is super compelling for players. Yeah, it's clear. Well, yeah, should we have that final upgrade? Should we have a final upgrade that tells you about leaving? I actually don't know if we should. From a lore perspective, it wouldn't make sense. The brokenness is that you can leave early. So if we acknowledge it, then it wasn't really broken. We could do something like we did for the Dungeon Racer. Which is to obviously break the game. So the Dungeon Racer idea was... Where are the assets? Here. This one. Yeah. So, oh, I meant to open that. The Dungeon Racer idea was like you're in a dungeon that looks like this, and then you try bombing a wall, and the floor just starts falling out from beneath you. So you are breaking the game in a very obvious way. And I always thought, okay, we could use this if we ever need something that otherwise wouldn't have fit. And maybe we need something like that here. Like, yeah, you're in this game and you're buying treasure chests, but like something's going wrong. I originally was saying that these should just be free. Like you try spending 2 gold on this and it doesn't actually take your money. So that's why it isn't taking your money right now. Like if I spend 500, we're still at 1,000 money. We're still at 1,000 money. I mean, it's not actually buying them anyway. Oh, that was what I wanted to write down from before. This is unrelated, but this is important. If chests should cost money, then we shouldn't let you buy them if you don't have space, since it would take your money for nothing. So yeah, how would we break this game? Also, did I ever write down that you got to fix those nav tiles? No, I didn't. Hide the nav tiles at runtime. I still haven't actually answered this question. Yeah, how would we break this? There are ways that I can kind of think of it. Like, okay, we have this upgrade for customer portal. We could have you buying items and you fill up all these stands. And then we say, wait, there are no customers though. And it's like, oh, because we're just off in the middle of nowhere. And then you make a portal. But the portal's how you leave. Also, I like that this is named customer portal. And this is the kind of thing you'd see in web dev, for example. Oh, is the tooltip blurry? I never noticed. It is. Well, would you look at that? All right, so that fixes that. Let's go try that again. I wonder if anything else is blurry and I just never looked that closely. Let's go try this out again. Yeah, now it's nice and crisp. And the outer dialogue is crisp and that menu is crisp. Yeah. Wow, neat. What about this one? I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. Well, let's check that in. Change texture filter on tooltip. The panel wasn't using the right one, so the graphics weren't crisp. Gotta tighten up the graphics. It'll come from the top-down shooter where you're getting upgrades that aren't supposed to carry over. I don't have a better idea for this. And I like I said, I don't think this is going to be compelling for players. Because from a player perspective, they're going to enter this game and they'll just interact with the game. So they'll be like, oh, I can buy a treasure chest. Okay, I buy a treasure chest. And then like, huh, okay, I can open this up. And then, oh, there's a price setting mechanic. Interesting. And then they're going to be like, all right, what do I do with the money? Come over here. Or the tutorial's going to tell them. And they're going to be like, oh, okay, now I get the game loop here. And while this is a game loop, it is not really what they're supposed to be interacting with. I do think this is already an interesting enough game loop, though. Just kind of cool to see. Let's get more item displays. How silly. Yeah. It's neat. Oh, I wonder if we should close the dialogue when you do that. Yeah, gameplay loop is fine, but players would have done all of this and they would be like, all right, this is the game, right? If some players might wander around and be like, all right, what else is there here? And the ones who find this could just leave. And if they do that early enough, they might be like, oh, okay, I guess that's what was broken about that game, is I could just leave it. But the ones who go through the entire game and upgrade like everything here. So if I just do grant most things a bunch of times and they just go like bye, 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 bye. And they get all the upgrades, they're going to be like, all right, now what? They're going to have this like empire of opening treasure chests over here. Oh, this should probably remember which thing you chose last. I should write that down. Yeah, and they're going to be happy to see this all happening. And then there'll be the portal. And they might think that they spawned the portal later. They wouldn't realize that they actually got it early on. I think we need to just playtest this. I think that's my conclusion. We need to playtest this. My prediction, players who discover the portal early on or realize what's happening when they buy it will probably feel like they skipped an entire game and that's sufficiently broken. They may even want to go back to the loot boxes game just to experience what it had to offer. Players who max out the game and then discover the portal may not realize that it was there from the beginning. and just feel like they played a regular game. Hey, Phil. Hmm. Maybe we could do something about the latter category of people. Like, if you max everything and try going through the portal, your character asks, what was the point of all of those upgrades? If this was here from the beginning. You may not have like fully maxed everything though. Hmm. In which case you wouldn't see it. Also, I don't think this is gonna. I mean, that's something that the player will think. They don't need their character to think that. Yeah. Anyway, I still think we leave it. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Whatever. All right. Next thing, is the game fun? So I think the gameplay is actually pretty decent, but I think we need to answer this after we've done the balancing pass. In my initial tests, the gameplay seems compelling enough. There is a gameplay loop, although there aren't many decisions to be made. Well, even though there aren't that many decisions to be made. So yeah, I think that's probably fine. Does it make sense to buy treasure chest from the treasure spirit? I think you'd want to buy it from the display. Treasure spirit could just teach you how the game works, I guess. Yeah, that's what I'm leaning toward. The treasure spirit is part of the tutorial. And I've got some, just put that over there. I've got some text of what we want to add for them. Where is that? Here. Tell you to buy a treasure chest, tell you about opening a treasure chest, and tell you to get the portal upgrades so you have customers. Yeah, that's some work that we could do today. In fact, we should probably kick that off now, huh? I should plan exactly how this will work then. So option 1, we spawn this dialogue as soon as you enter. And option 2, we like point an arrow or something at the treasure spirit and make it compelling to want to interact with them. We could even force you to go through the tutorial. So I'm thinking I'll just do a really quick mock-up here. Here's a way that this could work. Let me just move off to the side a little bit here. Maybe you start like this or something. I don't know. We're facing down. Whatever. And then there'd be text, a speech bubble here saying like, talk to the treasure spirit to find out how to play. And there'd be a little arrow pointing at them, basically. Now, if you don't do this, you could play the entire game still. So I think forcing you to do this is maybe the best thing. You would have come from a not dialogue heavy game, although we might add another story beat there. Trying to think of what's best. And this isn't set in stone. It's not pivotal to the entire game. Alternatively, what we could do, so this is like option 1. We could just instruct you for each of the individual things that you have to do. So we could have a text box here saying, purchase a chest. Oh, you know what? No. What if, okay, hang on. Maybe this is the best. Maybe we just say here, like, hello. Purchase a chest at the, yeah, at the display near me. I'll give you wooden chests for free. Yeah, something like this is kind of what I'm thinking. So this dialogue would just show here until you go do the action. And there's no other real action. I guess you could open the perk board. So we need to accommodate that. At the stand near me. And then we just move this off to the side somewhere. So this is just for the tutorial. So yeah, this would be like step 1. And then you go buy the chest. So now let's say we go get it, which would happen at the stand, but it doesn't right now. So now we'd have a picture here. And we say something like chests take time. I don't know how we explain this. Maybe we change the mechanic. The mechanic right now is this bar fills up and it indicates how much loot you'll get. Takes me time to fill the treasure chests with loot. Wait for the bar to fill before opening it. I mean, that could be the next thing here. And then you open it. And you get some items. And then this would say... You have items now. Now that you have loot, you need customers to buy them. Interact with the perk board here to allow them to visit. Yeah, maybe something like that. And then we just need to talk about price setting if we're going to do that. This is one of the few... I've commented on this before, but in a lot of games, you do not want a tutorial like this. You want it to be just obvious how you progress and the player can figure things out. In this game, the game is called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. So the more we like hit you over the face with a tutorial, the more it's kind of on theme because you can still figure it out on your own. Yeah. Anyway, the only other thing we need to tell you about is price setting, which you may or may not realize. So maybe if you sell like 5 items for 1 gold, we tell you about price setting. So now you have customers. And maybe that's the next thing we say. In fact, I should take a picture of that. Yeah. Customers will only buy loot that they consider... Will only consider good deals. Interact with an item to set its price. To set their prices. Maybe something like that. Yeah, and this stuff just stays on the screen until you've done this. So we just had these 4. I think we're fine if we just do that. So this is not what we want. And I want to go close out of all these other things that we have open. Hey, Smile. How are you? I'm doing well. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. All right, let's just close out all these things. I don't want any of this open. I don't know a faster way to do this because I don't want to go save those other things that I have. What a cute little porcupine. Okay, yeah, so let's go back to these graphics here, or the picture. So, hello, purchase a chest at the stand near me. I'll give you wooden chests for free. I think the wording could probably change, but I like this idea where this is just on the screen until you do this. And then after you've done that, so now you have a chest. It takes me time to fill the treasure chest with loot. Wait for the bar to fill before opening it. This doesn't indicate that you can open it early. And if you were to skip through this, you would never know about this mechanic. I guess you could figure it out yourself. And we could even make it clear. originally the idea that I had in mind was that this would be a little mini game where it was like a timer thing and it would just go from full to empty, full to empty, full to empty, and you needed to stop it when it was going to be opened. But the problem with that is you don't have a reason to buy more treasure stands. So by just having it fill up and it takes time, now you have a reason to get more treasure stands. Hey, Pickle. Good morning. By the way, Pickle, have you ever heard staticky audio since you pointed it out originally? Because I restarted my computer, but I didn't do anything else. Now that you have loot, what did this one say? Yeah, okay. So now that you have loot, you need customers to buy them. Well, that should probably be slightly different, but interact with the perk board here to allow them to visit. I haven't heard anything ever since. Okay, cool. That's good to know. And then customers only consider good deals, interact with items to set their prices, and we just wait for you to do that. Yeah, this is decent. Yeah, this is decent. And I like this idea, and I think this is the next thing we probably code, but I still need to figure out the whole chest opening mini game. Need to figure out whether it's compelling enough to have the like loot meter fill over time, or if there's something else we should do. I want to incentivize the player to get multiple treasure stands. So if there's a timing mechanic, maybe that's a bad way of saying it. If there's a skill-based mechanic, then it may not be great since you can only interact with one chest at a time. Yeah, again, the idea here is you would get this. You get a bunch of treasure stands. And now when you get a bunch of treasure chests, let's say we open up all of these. Now it's like, well, in this particular case, wooden ones open really quickly, but you can see these are still filling up. So like you need to wait for this. And in waiting for it, that's why you want multiple treasure stands. Now the balance of this game might be such that you really have no way of going through all those items at once. Maybe the difference between a not filled chest and a filled chest is like one item versus two items. So you're doubling it, but you're not like quintupling it. So if I get a gem chest over here, if I open this up right now, I think it's going to be one item. Yeah, well, two. But we could make it so that would only have given you one. Or like worse loot or something. But I don't know if that's very fun. Like it truly is just wait for this stuff to be done. Also, you need to go to each individual stand to purchase treasure chests. That's probably not very fun. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Also, I should probably just paste these pictures in at this point, right? This one, this one. This and this. All right. And shrink them a little bit just so it doesn't take up a ton of space in the document. All right. So it's also kind of tedious to keep having to purchase treasure chests. Either you go to the treasure spirit and buy them all at once, or you go to individual stands. Maybe we change how you get the treasure chests. Or maybe you have to like button mash to open them. I'll write down some ideas. I'm not convinced about any of these like ideas for how to address this. Like you button mash to open chests. We say like wooden chests take 2 presses, and then the gemmed chests can take like 5 presses. This is kind of stupid though. This doesn't encourage you to get more stands. Okay, well, what if What if you didn't have to open the chests at all? What if they automatically opened after some amount of time? That would probably help, because I don't think opening them right now is interesting. You have to walk over to them. So yeah, what if as soon as these filled up, they just opened, and there was no way to open them sooner? So now we don't even need a loot multiplier. You're just guaranteed to get the most loot you'll ever get out of the chest, which is probably a good thing. And then, yeah, you could still buy them from each individual stand. You ever hit with natural disasters like strong weather events? These have no tornadoes, and now we have many each summer. Oh, man. No, there's nothing really that crazy over here. There's supposed to be an earthquake eventually. People have been talking about it for like 10 years. And I mean, I do believe that it'll happen eventually. I just don't know when that'll be. But other than that, no, there's nothing too crazy here. We had a kind of a heat wave like 4 years ago that was extreme, but it didn't last for very long. We had some ice storms. We had a power outage thing that happened last year that lasted for several days. If you can still purchase chests from the treasure spirit, then we probably need to remember the last choice you made. Even if you can only purchase from a treasure stand, we probably want this same thing, but maybe it's a global memory across all stands. I don't even set the time on my oven or microwave anymore. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say they're that common here that I wouldn't even change the time, but I'd say they're relatively common. It does depend on the time of year, but then it's like, yeah, there'll just be random outages. They don't last for too long. I do probably need to get an uninterruptible power supply too at some point. So yeah, what if you didn't have to open chests at all? I think this is kind of interesting. I wonder if even purchasing them is interesting. Like, what if the kind of chest you got well, yeah, like what if you didn't even have to purchase them? If there was some other way of obtaining chests? It could be you could find them in other treasure chests. This could result in you filling your supply or filling your available item displays with treasure chests. There could be some mini game that gives them to you. I mean, this game was supposed to be about like, loot box addiction, a commentary on that. And I almost wonder, like, what if the treasure spirit gave you a chest that looked like this, that you open, that then spawns into other treasure chests that go onto your displays over here? That could work. In fact, this is part of the reason why you'd want the time mechanic in a lot of different treasure stands here. Because if you open this up and it spawns into like 4 other treasure chests and you don't have room, you'd be like, oh, I just lost all that loot. I kind of like that idea. In fact, we don't even need to have it be on a stand. You could just be like, all right, I'm gonna spend 2,000, and then a treasure chest just opens up. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Maybe you just buy a random number of chests, and the quality is determined by a luck factor or something like that you can upgrade. And then the more stands you have, the more of the chests you'll actually receive. Maybe you don't even trigger this. Maybe it's just every so often, like every X seconds, you'll get a chest. I kind of like that. It's also closer to Skeleseller. Hey, Matt. Happy Friday. All right, this would simplify a lot of the UI. And yeah, I think this could potentially work. I don't know if it's the best incarnation of this, and I want to think about this a little bit more. But here's the general set of ideas. So one is there'd be a timer. I mean, imagine there's, it doesn't even need to show on the screen. Imagine there's 10 seconds left. So 10 seconds count down, and then all of a sudden a chest appears here. So I'm going to just kind of fake this. So imagine that just appeared. Now you cannot open this until it hits the maximum here. And in fact, actually, once it does, it would just automatically open. So imagine that one just hit the max, and this one's about to, and I'm not going to press a button and act like I'm not pressing a button. And you open this up. So yeah, cool. That just opened on its own. And then yeah, another 10 seconds pass, and another treasure chest will appear, another treasure chest will appear, and so on and so forth. And they'll just keep automatically opening. I guess actually, no, you should probably trigger their opening because you might not have space down here for this. Yeah, but I like that idea. And it adds a sort of impetus for you to keep doing this and not like do tedious actions. So I do like the general ideas here. So here's the totality of it. You automatically get chests every so often. You can upgrade this frequency. You cannot open chests until their meters are filled. And was there anything else here? And you have to manually open chests. So rationale for this is you may not have available item displays. So this is how you would so you wouldn't want to waste loot. The rationale for this is it's not a very interesting decision to be able to open chests ahead of time. Well, wait a second. It wasn't an interesting decision when you had to buy the chests yourself. If you don't have to buy them anymore, then it might be a decision of like, well, I don't have any items for sale right now, so I want some immediately. But there's a certain calculus behind this where a player might say like, well, look, I get 5 items if I wait, and I get 1 item if I don't wait. So I might as well just wait all the time. And at that point, you've like wiped out the decision that they could have made. And you need to make it clear how this decision works, and you're not going to be playing for very long. Yeah, so I think this is fine. It's not a very interesting decision. Also, yeah, I suspect players would just always wait for them to be full. We also can't reinforce how this works over such a short play time. Imagine us teaching the player, like, the more the meter is filled, the more loot you get. But the player doesn't see that message and thus doesn't learn how it works. We're not going to tell them again. If you were playing a game for like 5 hours, you would want to tell them again probably. But yeah, you're going to play this for like 5 minutes. And rationale here is it's tedious in a game where you have to physically go to a purchase location to keep purchasing chests. You'll probably open like 100 plus chests if you play this whole game out, which is like 100 plus like trips to either the treasure stands or the treasure spirit. All right, wait a sec though. So what determines the quality of the chest? Maybe you upgrade individual displays or individual treasure stands. I still kind of want there to be some decision. Yeah, playtesting. I still haven't put a lot of thought into like, is this a cohesive experience yet? Which is why we're doing some design today. All right, I should probably kick off like some AI thing just to start using my quota here and start the 5-hour window. And we know we're going to have something like this. So this would be in-world text. I want to spawn a series of tutorial dialogues in the loot boxes game. These would be small speech bubbles that are positioned in world coordinates. That simply contain text. For example, and I guess it's the treasure spirit telling you all of this. Where did those pictures go? I have them over here, so I guess I'll just go find it through here. Yeah, so there are 4 such speech bubbles that I have planned. Hello, purchase a chest at the stand near me. Actually, you don't even do that anymore. Yeah, maybe it's not even worth doing this until I finish designing this. All right, fine. So here's what we'll do instead. We'll just type. What happened here? I reasoning light. It's so silly you have to do this. There should just be some button you can press this as like trigger my 5-hour window. So hopefully that worked. It probably used almost no quota. It says now, yeah, resets at 202. I shouldn't have needed to do this for anything here. Yeah, let's just make sure that stays the same. Okay. So coming back to this, what determines the quality of the chest? Maybe upgrade individual treasure stands. I think that'd be kind of cool. You could have like slightly different looking stands. We have this. Like it'd be trivially easy to make this a different color. Actually, in fact, we already have the other colors, don't we? Didn't we do that for the enchanters then? Enchanter. Is it built into the building? It's built into the building. But yes, we do have it. And actually, something I didn't realize, we use that purple one for the treasure stands as well. But yeah, so we could just have some arbitrary hierarchy here. Green is the best, red is the worst one, blue is in the middle somewhere, whatever. And that could indicate what kind of treasure chest you're going to get. I think there's probably a better way to do this, though. I almost wonder if we should mock this up already. Like, just every 10 seconds, give me a treasure chest. In fact, the meter could be on each individual stand, but then it'd be producing a treasure chest per stand. I like the idea of you getting a treasure chest every so often across all of the stands. The other thing to consider is that you need these to take long enough to fill up. Also, camera smoothing makes the stands kind of wiggle out from underneath where the treasure chest is, which doesn't look great. And I think another thing we should do, if we may want to change the meter so that it disappears when full and plays the opening particles to indicate that you can open the chest. All right, so we get a treasure chest here. as a player starting out this game, let's go back into this, you would only have one treasure stand. So this would just automatically be here, and the treasure spirit would say something like, hey, go open that treasure chest that's on the stand. And you do that, and you get some items. And they're like, okay, now you need customers. And you do that, and now customers are in your town. Yeah, so I mean, we are going to need this. I don't know why I deleted this. Do I have it here again? No, I don't. Okay. So I want to add a series of tutorial prompts. Did this actually kick it off correctly? Whoa, what? They use 5% of my quota? I said hi. And I had it set to very light reasoning. All right, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I want to add a series of tutorial speech bubbles to the loot boxes game. They would be text blurbs positioned in world coordinates near the treasure spirit. Each blurb would have a condition for showing and a condition for hiding. For example, blurb 1, text. Oops. Hello, open the treasure chest near me to start earning loot. Condition for showing shows immediately upon entering the, or shows like 3 seconds after entering the game. Condition for hiding, you open at least one treasure chest. Blurb 2, text, hey Pressel, happy Friday, happy 155 streams, happy pre-Saturday. Then what do we say here? What? Where'd that go? Oh, weird. There it is. All right, so now that you have loot, you need customers to buy it. Interact with the perk board here to allow them to visit. Condition for showing 3 seconds. Shows 3 seconds after blurb 1 is hidden. And condition for hiding, you get the portal perk. Blurb 3. All right, I don't want to get too deep into this because we're still revamping this flow, but there is one more bit that we have here. Whereas a customers only consider good deals. Yeah, here. Blurb 3, text. Customers will only consider good deals, interact with items to set their prices. Condition for showing shows, I don't know, like, yeah, 3 seconds after blurb 2 is hidden. And condition for hiding, the player sets the price or like changes the price of at least one item. All right, let's have it plan this. Happy all those things. Happy all those things indeed. I have a small update on that issue I encountered yesterday with Surge. So I made a silly assumption here, which normally is not a bad assumption, but this time was. So for those not in the know, I'm going to sum everything up. I was trying to use a synthesizer in FL Studio, and it doesn't matter if that doesn't make sense. It was crashing. So I'm trying to use some software and it's crashing. And this is the exact bug that I was hitting. So I looked at this and I saw November 14th, 2025. That's long enough ago that this version must have changed so that if this issue is closed, then it's like no longer an issue, right? Well, turns out this is exactly the version that I had. I didn't expect that long to have passed without the version being updated at all. So someone responded saying, try the nightly build, and the nightly build worked. I mean, even when I tried my own builds, they worked. So yeah, this was a non-issue pretty much that I just made a silly assumption about. So yeah, um, it was good to at least have learned that. Is also one of those sort of intangible things that maybe just getting another hour of sleep would have let me bypass that immediately. I would have been like, oh yeah, look, the versions match. Yeah, this is the same bug. Okay, let's just get the nightly build and we're done. But we'll never know now. All right, when should this tutorial sequence reset? I mean, just never. Remember, the loot box scene is entered. Probably this. If a player has already satisfied a blurb's hide condition before that blurb appears, what should happen? Yep. And which account is completing blurb 3? Yep. Sounds good. What's the current stance on public and semi-public playtesting? The way I've been looking at this stuff is that checkpoint 1 is already done. It was private. Checkpoint 2 is probably going to be fully private. At some point, we'll benefit from public playtesting. But for now, what I'm more concerned with is what are the reactions to each individual like phase of the game? What do people think about it? And for that, I need to have like video recordings of people playing. And when you make a playtest public, you get fewer actual recordings, you get lower quality recordings. And yeah, I think public playtests are good for general sentiments. Like, you know, was the game clear to you? Which game was your favorite? Those sorts of things where it's like, oh, okay. A lot of people like the loot boxes game. Oh, that was cool, or that was a funny idea. So I don't know when that'll happen exactly. I think that for the rest of 2026, we'll probably have the playtest in August. We'll probably target another one for October and then another one for December. So we'll have like 3 more playtests. They might all be private. It's going to be tough to pull from like a pool of people at some point who have never heard of the game and have never seen anything, because everyone who watches the stream, you've got like some idea of what's happened, even if you haven't seen everything. It's like this game existing, you have now seen. So when you see this again, you won't be like, oh, this reminds me of Skeletal. You'll be like, I already saw that a while ago. Whatever first impressions I had, I've forgotten now. What visual treatment should the world space blurbs use? Loot boxes, parchment? Yeah, sure. It's pretty good. I guess let's try that. Hey, Goldskin. Could also use Steam News System. Yeah, and Steam actually has a playtest system as well. We could just use that. But I haven't decided on this stuff. We got to just take it kind of month by month here. And I've been thinking about all the different aspects of the game that I've been working on so far. And this is what made me, I sent a Discord message yesterday, at least I think I did, saying something like, I don't really give myself enough credit for the stuff that I work on sometimes. But like, there's been a lot, even the last few weeks. And doing game design now, I think this is still important. That part of what motivated that is Itch had an asset sale. Well, they have an everything sale, I guess. But I was concerned with the assets that were on sale. And I don't remember seeing that. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, so I was like, well, I might as well look through all these things and figure out what do I want to buy. And yeah, I spent a bunch of money yesterday on this stuff. So now we've got enough fodder for another few games. And that's what motivated that. Well, we need to design those games. And it's like, all right, well, that's happening now. I could try paying less attention to the stream to keep my playthrough unsullied by prior experience. Hey, Brando. No, don't worry about that. And yeah, I might ask you to play eventually. And even, I don't know how closely you're paying attention, but even the people who have been like here consistently, they're still like, oh, I didn't even see that game that you were talking about. So something will be new. And then even barring all of that, I still think this game has a certain surprise factor to it. But even barring all of that, there's still a difference between seeing a game and playing that game. And I remember when Hearthstone was in beta, I didn't have access, but I was watching people play back then. And I understood the rules of the game. I understood the cards. But when I finally got to play it myself, I was like, oh, this is very different. This feels really good. And I think the only case that's not probably true for is like super linear games. Maybe also like horror games. I guess anything where there's a surprise. So linear games, there's no surprise after the first time. Horror games, yeah, once you already know what happens, maybe you don't feel the same way. I don't play horror games, so I can't speak firsthand there. So yeah, I'll still kind of play it by ear here. Hey, interface. As a hobby game dev with limited time, I also watch more games than play them, and I agree it's interesting but not the same. Yeah. Yeah, and I think there are some games where you'll almost never get the same experience as if you play it yourself. Like a competitive multiplayer game. Like watching someone else play, unless you're at their exact same skill level playing against the exact same kinds of people, or it's such a narrow strategy game. But like, you know, you playing chess even is going to be very different from watching someone else play chess. I wonder if grandmasters feel the same way about that. Are they like, oh yeah, those are all the same moves I would have taken? There's got to be some like differentiation at some point. 5% paying full attention. Still not understanding. Yeah. Hey, Rami. No one's on my skill level in anything. Yeah, that's why Rami is the best. Just provably the best. You name it, he's the best at it. All right, well, we still have some more little design things here to do. Let me finish this part. How should the blurb be positioned relative to the spirit? Fixed world position. Yeah, sure, that's fine. My plays about how wrong he is. He should have flipped the table at that point. That's when I would have conceded. Why isn't he flipping it? All right, it's almost break time. So I definitely want to answer the rest of these questions here. Where I left off, still want to figure out exactly how getting chess and opening them should work. I think there should maybe be another decision that the player has to make, but I'm not sure what it should be. When to open, which chest to open, how to use a key or something. I wanted this to produce the plan at the very least. Also, Codex has been crashing a lot in the last week. I just did another update this morning. Hopefully it's not going to crash again, because that is pretty frustrating. Also, all of my software has been crashing lately. I used FL Studio on the old synth, on the new synth. Both of those crashed. Codex was crashing. Maybe it was just those things. That's still annoying. Oh yeah, that one YouTube stream just stopped working at some point. That has never happened again, and I've done hundreds of YouTube streams and I haven't had an issue, so I don't know what caused that. All right, I'm hoping this finishes soon. Yeah. Because like I said, I want to take a break. Ah, there we go. Perfect. So now I'll have enough time to read through this and then implement it. This doesn't take too long. Should be another few seconds and it should be done. Perfect. All right, let's copy this, paste it, preview it. Add one passive world space parchment bubble. Passive. Above treasure spirit. It displays, oh, I see what they mean by passive. You don't have to click it. It displays 3 blurbs sequentially. Resets on every loot box is run. Skips guidance whose objective is already complete. Feature local loot box tutorial scene script. Reuse this. Use this wrapping. Sure. Ignore mouse input. Never lock player control. Show and hide instantly. Actually, I think it can still fade in. Yeah, I think it can fade in. So I'll write a comment about that. Where did that tab go? Here. All right, add lootboxes.tutorial.cs. I don't love that file name. Hey, Harold. Start hidden, show the first incomplete blurb, hide immediately, skip all subsequently completed blurbs. All right, I'm gonna have to snooze this ad. Track authoritative milestones, add this. Yeah, this is all fine. I don't like these couple of things. So I will revamp this plan a little bit. Instead of showing hiding immediately, fade in and out over short durations. And this name is just wacky to me. Come up with a name without an extra period in it. All right, submit. Oh, it's gonna replan this. Oh, stupid. Well, whatever. Finally found my peak use of AI. It's generating front end XAML. No more touching that hideous stuff. Oh man, so I did something. So I mentioned that I ordered one of these things, a terminal. It's just an e-ink display, and it's just a dumb client. It just fetches an image from a server and then renders it. So it doesn't have any logic. It doesn't know how to access like Google Calendar or something. And yesterday, I was like, okay, I haven't gotten the device yet. I get it today, but I want to plan what our layout is going to look like. And we pretty much just wanted like weather and a calendar, but still there's some stipulations I had around that. And the way you set up these screens is with liquid templating. And yeah, it's a bunch of like CSS and HTML and little placeholders and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to do any of this. So yeah, I just had Codex like make the whole thing for me, and it looks pretty good. And like I said, we get the device today, so I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like on that display. I'm not even gonna read this plan at this point. I'm just gonna click implement because all I had to change was 2 things. And if it didn't change them, we'll just fix them manually. So I'm gonna go take that break now. And when we get back, we will try to figure out the rest of this design. So is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again. Hey, Strawn. Hey, Carson. Close the game. Yeah, the amount of time it takes to activate that. There's something with the closed captions that I just never looked into. All right, so still want to figure out exactly how getting chests and opening them should work. By the way, this is still chugging along, right? Yeah, nice. Think there should maybe be another decision the player has to make. I'm not sure what it should be, when to open, which chest to open, how to use a key or something. So I still have this here. So let's say you had a whole line of these. There. Yeah, and let's say you would purchase chests for all of them. So in this case, the way we have this right now, you can choose to open a chest ahead of time, and you will still get loot from it. But if you had a line of treasure chests that was already like maxed out, like all these bars are filled, you would probably just go down the line and open them all as soon as you have space for them, space for their items. So like we get a couple more item displays, and yeah, we would just open both of these. We get 10 items. So I guess in terms of that, it's not super interesting. Maybe, yeah, I could come up with other ways, but they'd be more complicated. And I don't think we need to go with more complexity. I don't think we need more complexity. But another way of doing things is that we give the player keys that they need to put into the chest. Maybe keys just spawn above each chest, and that's what eventually opens them. The keys could have a rarity. YouTube stream is considerably more delayed. We talking like 5 seconds or like a minute? Because I think I have it set to like normal or low latency, but not like very low latency. But I don't know what that actually entails for most viewers. I think it should be some number of seconds, like 3 or 5. And that's okay in my mind. It's not so great for playing a game. But it's fine for at least being able to watch passively. Yeah, I don't think we really need something like this. Probably around 15. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Or maybe there just is no decision. Maybe there is no real decision to make. You just wait for chests to fill up with loot. I think the problem would be like how you determine the quality of a chest. Like if you only had wooden chests, they'd be openable whenever. If you only had gemmed chests, you'd be waiting around. Yeah, I think this is the core of what we need to figure out. So if you just had, like, let's say you just randomly got these. Right now I'm buying them. But if I didn't buy them and you just randomly got 3 of these, it's like, oh, well, now I have to wait 20 seconds for these to be openable. And yeah, maybe that's interesting. And you're like, all right, fine, I'll wait. But there's nothing else you're doing in the meantime if you don't have other items. So, okay, I can finally open this one. I can open this one. I can open this one. We got all our items. Now, assuming you get more treasure chests, they'd be opening as you're going down here and being like, all right, what are the best prices to set? And I guess that's the other part of this game is like paying attention to what items are being sold, how much can you sell them for. So maybe that's where I'm not really testing this because I haven't coded that mechanic yet. The customers just buy this no matter what I set this to. So even if this is $9.99, then they'll still purchase it. I might need to speed it up a little bit, but yep, there we go. And now I have 14,000 gold. So yeah, I think we can just have chests take a lot longer. Chests can take a decent amount of time to open because you'll be setting item prices and picking upgrades. However, at some point in the game, you won't want wooden chests anymore. So an idea is that we could have upgrades to specify the minimum chest quality and the maximum. So like you start, minimum quality is wooden, maximum quality is, I don't know what comes after that, silver. Or well, wooden actually. So just, you can only get wooden chests at first. And then you upgrade it and you can eventually get to wooden, silver, golden, gemmed. But if we're going to do that, I mean, I guess we could do this. So you can upgrade, maximum you have to upgrade first. So you'd go from wooden or silver, could spawn. And then from there, you could either pick only silver or wooden, silver, or gold. So it's up to you. But it doesn't ever make sense for you to get wooden ones again. You wouldn't want them anymore. So yeah, maybe there's just an upgrade that picks what quality of treasure chest you get. I think that probably makes the most sense. I think it makes the most sense to upgrade the chest quality with a single perk. So it just goes wooden, yeah, exactly this. Wooden, silver, gem, golden gemmed. And then chests spawn at an interval. And these chests take longer to open. You could probably speed up the chest opening time. All right, so totality of decisions. You have a perk that lets you change which treasure chests you get occasionally. Wooden, silver, golden, gemmed. Rationale, you'll never want the bad chests after you can get the good ones. Yeah, they give worse items. That's it. And is there anything else I decided here? That's kind of it. What we've got to be very careful about is I don't want there to be any long dead periods of time. So like, let's say you get these items out of here and you're about to go set some prices. This is you're going to set to like 11 and you're going to try to set this one. But before you can set the other ones, they start buying them for 1. So like, uh-oh, you ran out of items here. And now a new chest automatically spawns. This one takes hardly any time. So you're not really waiting for it, right? Okay, cool. We can open it now. That took whatever, 3 seconds. But once you get later in the game and you have no items on your displays and you're just waiting around for these to open, I guess at that point you might be like, well, I've already spent all my money or I'm waiting for some upgrade. So you might wander around. Once you do, you might discover that you can just leave the game. And maybe that's not a problem. Yeah. Hey, Zika. Yeah, maybe that's not a problem. All right, I am pretty happy with this set of conclusions here. So we have a lot of stuff to change in the code now that we've come up with this. So what does talking to the treasure spirit even do? And yeah, I guess, what does talking to the treasure spirit do? All right, so what is this? Does it make sense to buy treasure chests from the treasure spirit? So we've said no to that. Is there a reason to get multiple chests at the same time? Yes. Should wooden chests be free? All chests are going to be free. What should the other upgrades be? We pretty much answered that. Is a chest opening mechanic as apparent as it can be? We've changed this now. It's a timer. In fact, it might be better to just change some animations. Yeah, I think we can make it clear. Should we have a final upgrade that tells you about leaving? I'm leaning toward no. And then this, what does talking to the treasure spirit do? I don't have an answer to that yet. Maybe you don't talk to them. Why do they even exist? I guess they're there as the tutorial spirit. All right, yeah, I guess I'll just put this here. If there's no reason to interact with the treasure spirit, then don't make them highlight when you get close. However, we probably should have them say something to you, even if it's just a joke. All right, this is so much better. I am so glad we designed some of this stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we got to go find a graphic for this. Game, assets, icons, ability. We need something for... Wait, We already have a graphic for this somewhere. Where is it? Whoops. What is going on with this? We have a graphic for like when you get treasure chests. Or something that said like 90 seconds, 60, 90, 30. Maybe it went like that. Aha, found it. What's the icon? Icon, unlocked perk free treasure chest. And that is called unlocked perk free treasure chest. Okay, unlocked perk free treasure chest. Yeah, this one. All right, so copy this path. That's this. And then the quality of the treasure chest. I don't think we have a graphic for that we can use. Do we? Could be this one. We don't already use this, do we? Let me launch the game. Oh yeah, Godot was the other program that was crashing. I forgot. Hey Jesta. Heard of people vanishing through a portal. I don't know how true that is. Typical RPG hints. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Oh hey, cool. That worked. Where did I write that down? Here it is. You know that some portals work in 2 directions. All right. So this should spawn above this treasure spirit because right now you can't see anything underneath it. What was I doing this for? I opened the game and then I got distracted by that. Oh man, what was I doing this for? Oh yeah, to see what icons I use. Oh nice, we don't use it already. Well, isn't that perfect? All right, so open treasure chest. Icon there. All right, manual opening chests. Can't get these telemeters filled. Upgrade the frequency. We got that. We got all that. Yeah, nice. Nice, nice, nice. So auto opening chests I don't think makes sense. Maybe only when you have space. Like this could be an upgrade for later on. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's there. We'll figure it out. All right, let's go take a look at this. Do you want to make the... Oh, it didn't even finish this? Honestly, it's probably just good enough. Should we even have it do anything? What are we down to here? 76%. Yeah, I have a lot of other AI tasks to be done. Yeah, well, let's just probably leave it and I'll just make changes myself. So on treasure chest open and a tutorial. Okay, so then it should just... Let's go test it. It should work. Open the treasure chest near me to start earning loot. All right, so we open it. That should disappear after 3 seconds, I guess. Yeah, nice. Now the new one appears. Now that you have loot, you need customers to buy it. Interact with the perk board here to allow them to visit. Done. Now that goes away. And a new one opens up saying about setting prices. So if I just interact with this and set it to the same thing it already is, nothing happens. If I try setting it to 0, nothing should happen also. Yeah, but if I set it to 2, it should go away. Perfect. Yeah, cool. That's the feature. We have some minor cleanup we need to do. So I think for this, let's just dismiss this and not have it do any more work. Skip. No. Stop now. Yeah, you're done. Has changed an item price. True. Where does this get used? Something needs to read this. Does this get checked constantly? Function is complete. What uses this? Init does this. And yeah, process is what I was worried about. So this is getting called on every single frame. I don't like that. I need to finish reading through the rest of this stuff. Let's close out all these things. Init tutorial. What does this do? Get the speech bubble. And then we have different blurbs here. Yep. I mean, the idea of this is fine. I just don't want it checking that frequently. Maybe it only checks like once every second or something. Let's go back to this. On item price set. Yeah, so this is fine. This is fine. What does this call? Yep, nice. That's fine. That's okay. We got to change the view, of course. So like change the UI itself. The speech bubble is covering everything basically. So like just spawn it higher up and probably position the treasure spirit in such a way that like at the top of the scene. Looks good. Although we don't already call that. We don't. We call create items. Create items is a function in the treasure stand. Okay, that's fine. Whoops. It's strange that this is here. But that we don't set this here. Is this a partial class with... it is... I don't really mind that it's a partial class. Not super happy with that. Also, how does Rider work with partial classes? If I do Command R here, does it find... I forgot what the name of that was. What is the name of that? Where'd that go? On treasure chest open? On treasure chest open. It does not. So it only searches in this particular file. Oh, wait, no. That's not true. Oh, wow. Interesting. If you just type on treasure chest, it won't find it. But as soon as I type another letter here, it does find it. Huh. I'm not sure if I'd expect that, but yeah, that'd probably bite me later somehow. So we got to look this whole thing over, and I'm not super happy with this class. And then that's it, right? Yeah, then there's just the UI. And the UI was actually probably fine. Tutorial speech bubble. Other than that it's covering stuff, which, I mean, I can reposition that. But there's a panel container, which, yeah, that's set to nearest. It did that correctly. Set this to linear. Did that correctly. Pretty good. All that stuff is fine. Show timer, 3 seconds. Oh, because no matter what, I always had to wait 3 seconds. Yeah, that's also fine. Oh, yeah, that looks good. So it's just this one file that I don't like. Where'd that file go? Here. Oh, we have a delay here too. So we start this. Okay. Fade duration is both in and out. Fade in over the course of 0.25 seconds. And then fade out over the course of 0.25 seconds. I don't know what we use in other places. I think we use like, yeah, half a second for fading in. And I don't know what we use for fading out. Fading out, 0.25, 0.2, 0.5. Yeah, let's just set this to 0.5 seconds across the board. Show pending. What does that mean? On show timeout. Fade in. Does this default to physics? It doesn't. In this particular case, it probably doesn't matter. We don't have any other fade in calls, do we? No. Do we have any other fade out? Or sorry, yes, we definitely have a fade out call. What am I talking about? And then on fade out finish, what does this do? Hide, advance. Yeah, all this needs to be on the physics process loop. Which means really the fade in should be 2. All right, is modulate actually changing anywhere? It isn't, so then why is this set? Set blurb, set current blurb index is initialized as true now. Why do we do that? This is just some guard code that we probably don't need. Tutorial speech bubble. What fetches that? Tutorial speech bubble. Here. We initialize it as soon as we get into this. Init tutorial. This is probably done from init as well. It is actually done from ready. So then there should be no chance that this can ever be false. It's not necessarily bad code to have. I don't want to complicate things here. So let's delete all that. Okay, so if visible, fade out current blurb. Why is it inside process? Show pending false. Advanced past completed blurbs. And then schedule current blurb. Oh, actually, this isn't too bad. This isn't happening every process. This is only happening when we don't have a current blurb. Yeah, this is actually pretty decent. Yeah, so all we need to do is change the positioning, I think. And probably move where the treasure spirit is itself. So right now, I just laid this out stupidly. there's no two ways about it. It's just a dumb layout. So we should probably come up with a slightly better layout here. Maybe put you, whoops. Maybe put you over here at the top. And the perk board should probably be near them. And then, yeah, sure, all your treasure stands, the items and whatever else. And then where is it? Where did we put the speech bubble? It is in loot boxes. Huh, that's weird. I didn't see it. Oh, it's not green. That's why. I'm only looking at green nodes. Here it is. This contains a green node. That's what I was thinking. All right, so just close all tabs. That crashed Godot. Reopen. Yeah, like I said, all my software is crashing. And this isn't the end of the world. I keep this in perspective. This is what, 15 seconds of wasted time, but it happens frequently enough. And it's like, while I'm trying to think of something else that I want to do, that it's really annoying. I should just file a bug at some point, but that would involve me going and finding logs and figuring this stuff out. And I'm always doing a task at the time that it crashes. All right, where is the speech bubble? Here it is. We should just put this underneath the treasure spirit. Done. And then move this somewhere. Canvas item. Oh, it's not visible. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have another centering problem, won't we? I need this to grow upward. Can't we just make this a control? Can you position controls in world space like that? I don't know, but let's try it. So now here it is. I want this to be centered like so. That is not what I want. It didn't get centered. Oh, wait, we have offset transforms now, right? Can I just turn this on and set, or not that, but set this to 0.5? Would you look at that? It's fantastic. Except for that one should still be set to 0, or maybe 1. Yeah. So what's the point of this now? Can I just set this to wherever? Yeah, this shouldn't matter. All right, pretty good, I think. Now, why does that look terrible? Because it says a transform? Yeah, nice. All right, so now we just bump this upward a little bit. Where? I don't know. Maybe there. Let's try it. And then hide this and run the game. So how does this look? It crashed. Well, it didn't crash, but it threw an exception, and this is my fault. But why is it my fault? Script inherits from Node 2D. Yeah, that's why it's my fault. Not anymore. What have we now? So they should talk. Yeah, it's not centered still. Why not? Just put this off screen for a sec. I think one of these things doesn't have the correct grow direction. And it should be like parent container sizing, alignment, begin, center. Is that even correct? I don't know, but I think, no, I don't think this is correct. I think it should be set to end. This is a VBox container? Yeah. So one of these is probably broken. Layout, container sizing, here we go. So I want it to be shrink end, I guess. And fill, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, let's just restart this. I have always disliked centering things anywhere in UI. Not fun in HTML, it's not fun in Godot, and it shouldn't be that bad. The problem is that we're doing this based on a world coordinate. So like I want to spawn this here and then have the rest of the dialogue get laid out according to that position. And here it looks like it's fine, and then it doesn't turn out to be fine. This is a test of how this would look if we got onto 2 lines. Yeah, this looks okay. What am I doing wrong then? Maybe this has the wrong position. Let's go to remote and search for tutorial. The position of this is 0, -14. So it's positioned correctly, and the widget underneath it is wrong. Wait, no, this has a position. Isn't that a problem? Isn't this the whole point of this pivot offset thing? What? I don't understand something. Yeah, I don't understand something. This should be just 0.5 or -0.5 maybe. I think it's because this is positioned strangely now. No, I don't know. Is it because of the scale? This is doing literally nothing. What does this do? Nothing as well. Yeah, there's some way to do this. I don't know what it is. Can we just do it by position? Pivot offset. Doesn't that mean this needs to change now? This does nothing. Yeah, this does nothing. Oh, this is not set to custom. And actually, it should be set to... Actually, this doesn't matter. Hey, stats. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to do this. I should probably just internalize this correctly. Hey, Samus Costa. What am I doing? I'm trying to center a dialogue in the scene. Oh, man. This is annoying. So, like, I have this thing here. I guess let's do this in the scene, Edible Children. All right, the speech bubble should be positioned, like, bottom center of that. Yeah, so this is what this is supposed to look like. If I just hit play now, does it work? Hey, Pixels. Welcome in. Which game was I playing? I'm making a game right now. And this is called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. Yeah, this looks fine now. I don't know why that didn't work the first time. Like, what did I just do? What did I do? Is it that I needed to anchor this? No, this isn't even anchored. So can I not make this editable now? This one's set to bottom center. Yeah, let's go try this. So turn this off and go change this to bottom center and then hit play. I hope this works. Hit auto saves when I run it. Yeah. All right. Now it's fine. So I don't know how I fixed that. I thought I'd done that originally and I apparently hadn't. Can I set this back to 0.75? Now you really shouldn't scale pixel art like this. It's probably not going to matter in this case though, because it's just that parchment. But the positioning is what I'm really testing here. And yeah, the positioning looks fine. Open the treasure chest near me to start earning loot. Yeah, well, cool. Cool. Hey, Goose. All right, now there is no treasure chest. It's telling you to do something that's impossible. But you can purchase one now and then go open it. And then when you do, that should fade out. Then a new one should fade in. Now that you have loot, you need customers to buy. Maybe just you need customers. Yeah, that'll look better. You need customers. Interact with the perk board. So ignoring that sentence, interact with the perk board here to allow them to visit. Yeah, we should probably highlight these things. Hey, Magnus. Happy 3rd of July. Yeah, just double checking. I should definitely know binary for 3, of course. So during the tutorial, we should probably highlight the thing we want you to interact with. It's not super important. There are only so many things you can do. Also, if you don't do anything here, you're stuck. And there are literally, 3 things you can interact with. There are the items. There's a treasure stand, which you will get another treasure chest, I guess. And then there's this. And we could also prevent treasure chests from spawning automatically during the tutorial. Nah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, no, that doesn't matter. All right, so get customers. So we do this, and now a new tip pops up saying customers will only consider good deals. Interact with items to set their prices. So maybe the first few items that you get should have their prices set to like 500, so that they're actually bad prices. I mean, now the customers still buy it even at 500, but they shouldn't do that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe customers just shouldn't purchase items that quickly. Because yeah, as soon as you get customers, if we just wait long enough, they're going to come buy this stuff. Yeah. And they might do it so fast that you didn't even have a chance to go over here and set the price. Now, if you don't, you'll eventually get another treasure chest and you'll be able to repeat the loop. So like they just bought all my items. I'll just go over here. I'll wait a little bit. We'll open this up. And I'll be able to set them on these. So it's not a big deal. Yeah, all right, pretty good. Add tutorial blurbs. The treasure spirit now tells you how to play the game. The game design, or the implementation, I updated the game design, but the current implementation doesn't reflect that. So some of what's happening doesn't make sense. All right. Pretty good. Pretty good. So let's go kick off some of these other changes. So you should automatically get chests every so often. How often is every so often? Because let's say we were to pick 30 seconds. The time it would take you to complete this game would like necessarily have to become at least 7 minutes or something. I'm just making up a number. So we got to keep that in mind too, is like how long are you supposed to play this for? So your first chest should be given to you immediately. We don't do that yet. So it should be given to you immediately, and then it should start filling up. Great. And then you will be able to upgrade this frequency. So like you get this, you're still going through the tutorial. This person talks to you about like, okay, go get this thing. I should have started the stopwatch. Yeah, I should have started the stopwatch. I want to say 25 or 30 seconds is probably a good starting point. And then you upgrade it by like 5 seconds each upgrade. So you set the price, and while you're doing this, you get another treasure chest on the stand over here. Yeah, probably every 25 seconds maybe. All right, so let's go get this. So rather than having to purchase chests in the loot boxes game, they should be granted automatically every so often. So the internal timer should start, I guess, like you should be granted one chest immediately upon, actually, I'll say this, yeah. Internal timer should start with 1 second remaining. That way you get your first chest pretty soon after starting the game. And chests should fade in on their stands when they're created. I don't think that currently happens. And anywhere we can add a little bit of animation to add clarity, I think that'd be good. And games especially, I think, are better candidates for animation than just random business applications, right? So let's say we purchase this. It might be hard to see. No, it just appears. Yeah, we want it to fade in. Okay, the timer should reset to 25 seconds. This time should be upgradable via a perk. Add the perk with this icon, the name, what should the name be? What do we call it in Skeleseller? Free treasure chest. We called it free treasure chest. Maybe treasure chest frequency, treasure granting frequency, treasure frequency. I like treasure frequency. I think it's pretty good. It's a good starting point at least. Also, it's very easy to change a string right now because we haven't localized anything. Name treasure frequency and the description. Perk data. Should it say decreases how long you have to wait before getting the next treasure chest? Or like increases how often? I think this is maybe a little bit better. Yeah. No, I want to workshop this a little bit more. Decreases how long you have to wait before getting the next treasure chest. Increases the frequency at which you are granted treasure chests. That's probably slightly better. The thing is, how we're going to render this is, I was going to say, like, wait time. It starts at 25 seconds, goes down to something like this. So framing it in terms of your wait time instead of in terms of the frequency, I guess you could put it in terms of like how many chests per minute you get, which is not great. But then you had to see something increasing here. And these units wouldn't make sense to you, whereas a wait time does make sense. Decreases the wait time between being granted treasure chests. Between getting treasure chests. I meant to write that. Sorry. Yeah, it's pretty good. Being given treasures. Wait time. Slowly recovering. Oh no, the streak was broken. Decreases the wait time between getting treasure chests. Maybe we could say increases how often you are granted treasure chests. Yeah, I think that's probably good. And then the column should say, it should just say wait time. The column header in the table that we show should say wait time. The wait time should be 25, 20. I'm just making up numbers. We can always balance this later. And I don't know, 7. We should probably make it go like this. Maybe like -4 seconds, then -3 seconds, then -2 seconds, and -1. Or maybe 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2016. Is that too much? No, that's not bad. Let's try it at least. It should be granted automatically every so often. Internal timer should start with 1 second remaining. That way you get your first chest pretty soon after starting the game. Timer should reset to 25 seconds. This time should be upgradable via perk. Add the perk with this icon, the name treasure frequency, and the description increases how often you're granted treasure chests. The column header in the table that we show should say wait time. The wait time should be this. Chests should fade in on their stands when they're created rather than immediately appearing. This is actually technically a separate thing altogether. So let's just write some prompts here. All right, what else? I think that's pretty much it. So then the dialogue, interacting with the treasure spirit right now, spawns a dialogue which has no reason to exist anymore. So if I run my way over there, I need to start the player closer to him, I guess. Yeah, none of this would exist, right? Oh, man. Well, this is 2016. Yeah, quite a long time. So what should the treasure chest say instead? What should the treasure spirit say instead of the purchase dialogue? So option 1 is some kind of hint about how to leave the game. Option 2 is some like joke or non sequitur. Option 3 is, that's pretty much it, right? Yeah. So the question is really, should they tell you or should they hint at how you can leave the game? And during the tutorial, nothing should probably happen. But yeah, should they? That's what Jester was kind of talking about here. Where is it? Yeah, something like, I heard of people vanishing through a portal. I don't know how true that is. Now, granted, they know for sure that customers come through a portal because they even tell you about that. But yeah, maybe they could say something like, hey, have you ever thought of going through the portal? And maybe it could just be really on the nose. It could be like, opening treasure chests sure is fun, but what if there's more to life? Actually, that could be fine. That could work in both ways, right? Just that. What if there's more to life than just opening treasure chests? Love it. Going with that. Great. Yeah. Instead of having a purchase dialogue when you interact with the treasure spirit, they should spawn a dialogue saying, this dialogue should only have a single option, which dismisses the dialogue. That option's text should say, Yeah. All right, so anything else? You're now granted treasure chest. Oh, yeah. There's one more thing. If the timer hits 0 and there isn't any room and you don't have any available treasure stands on which to make a chest, the timer should reset to 1 so that it can try again shortly. Yeah. And then always grant a wooden chest for now, but eventually... Actually, no, you know what? How about this? The chest to be granted should start out as always being a wooden chest, but this should be upgradable via a perk, and add the perk with this icon. The icon is here. The name treasure quality, and the description change the treasure chest, or like improves the treasure chests that are automatically granted. The table should show the names of the chests. Wooden, silver, what are the other ones? I don't know, we have this. Yeah, wooden, silver, golden, jet. Yeah. Yeah, are we looking good? I think we're looking good. So let's set this to plan mode. Let's just read this again. Rather than having to purchase chests in the loot boxes game, they should be granted automatically every so often. The internal timer should start with 1 second remaining. That way you get your first chest right after starting the game. The timer should reset to 25 seconds. This should be upgradable via a perk. Add the perk here. Treasure frequency, wait time. If the timer hits 0 and you don't have any available treasure stands, the timer should reset to 1 so that it can try again shortly. The chest to be granted should start out as being a wooden chest, but this should be upgradable. And instead of having a purchase dialogue, spawn a dialogue saying, what if there's more to life than just opening treasure chests? Okay, sounds pretty good. Yeah, neat. Hey, Killjack. All right, so we have 75% remaining before the plan to automatically grant chests. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I like how today's going so far. I like that there's a mix of like, okay, I'm doing some dev mostly via AI and then design while waiting. And in this particular case, I'm going to take my break right now because this plan will probably take like 5 minutes. So I'll let this run. I got to use the bathroom anyway, so I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, hello. Hey, ABC. Hey, Bucheros. So I got the terminal. Check it out. It says attach dock and USB-C to get started. So I only just opened this up. But yeah, pretty nice. We're gonna put this on our wall and have weather and calendar on it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this out today. Hopefully get it set up by the end of today. Already came in. That's amazing. Well, I mean, I ordered it like 2 months ago. It was on back order and they didn't have the white cases. So yeah. Anyway, very cool. Looking forward to checking that out. What's neat about e-ink, for anyone who doesn't know, and close the game in the meantime, is that it doesn't take any power to render something onto the screen. Well, it doesn't take any power to keep it rendered on the screen. So I plan on having this device update basically just once per day. And it should have the battery last for like 6 months or something that way. All right, what should the purchase cost schedules be for the 2 new perks? Yeah, whatever, doesn't matter. What header should the treasure quality tooltip chest type? It doesn't, yeah, that's all. Those doesn't matter. It's fine. Yeah, it's kind of cool. As long as I'm waiting for this, I'll show really fast what some other people have done with this. If I just go to like top in the last year. Yeah, so here's just random Reddit posts about people who've done other things here. Like showing the closest aircraft to your house. So like I don't think I'd ever want to see this. I don't really care about that sort of thing. But what do they have here? Any other like interesting ones? Yeah, weather. I think this is a commit graph. Yeah. For GitHub, yeah. Exactly. Package delivery, whatever else. It's I don't know. It's neat to see some of these ideas that people have. The way I kind of talk about it is I won't say this out loud so I don't trigger anyone's thing, but I have an Echo and we use it almost exclusively for questions like what's the weather, like convert, some number of tablespoons to cups or something like that, and maybe when is some store open. It's pretty much like these 3 categories of questions. And honestly, this is just the supreme question that we ask. This is more than anything else. Yeah, what's the weather today? And I feel like it's still a useful device just for that. But like, yeah, it'd be nice to have a display that just always has that information. Add your AI tokens. Yeah, that's part of what prompted this. Let me see if I can find something really fast. Someone made a project. Yeah, they made a Claude meter. And as a device form factor, I think this looks super cool, right? It's got some buttons on the side. Maybe you can change those to be like swap between different screens or something. And then, yeah, it shows your usage here. I think it's pretty neat. It's like a nice little project you can work on, right? And maybe you come up with something else. If you ever don't care about this, it's like, well, it's still a screen. It's still got some buttons on it. You can do whatever you want with it. This is not e-ink though. So this actually does take some power. It's got a little battery display on the top. But yeah, if it were e-ink, you could probably have that last for a very, very long time. Is the API cloud hosted or local and direct? That's always my worry. So they have 2 different ways of doing this. They have like pretty much a $15 one-time fee and you use their service, or you bring your own server. So I opted for this. And yesterday I installed a Docker container, which has their like, bring your own service thing. This is running on my mini PC and it's only local to our network. So like you wouldn't be able to fetch the weather data for using my service. And then I just had AI write the contents of it. So yeah, this should just be fine for the rest of the time. You could also bring your own hardware. So like you can use their Docker container for free and then make your own like display, not for free, but from their point of view, it's not giving them money. And if you have an old Kindle or something, you can use that too. So anyway, I think it's super cool. I'm not sponsored or anything. I haven't even, maybe I end up hating this thing, but I bought it myself with my own money and I'm excited about it. Different riddle at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, so this is the unfortunate part. The bring your own server software is not as good as their main software. So to make different like sections of the screen have different content, you need to make that yourself. Whereas officially they have something called mashups, where you'd be like, okay, I want, let's say this is the weather. I want this to take up like a third of the screen, and then this to take up the other 2/3. And if you ever want to change that, you just like change the layout, and hopefully the widget knows how to expand. But I don't have that, so I had to write my own thing. Yeah, I had to write it. So like if we want a picture of Abby on there or whatever, a cutesy note or something, we gotta go change the layout. All right, let's read this. Replace chest purchasing with a, let me preview this, with an automatic grant timer, frequency and quality perks, convert the treasure spirit interaction to one option flavor dialogue. Hey, nice. It gets its flavor. Add a one-shot timer owned by loot boxes. I don't get why it keeps making one-shot timers for this. Yeah, it's like that's the whole point of a recurring timer, right? But okay, fine. Start with 1 second remaining. On success, create a chest on the first empty treasure stand and restart using the current treasure frequency value. Sounds good. Every stand is occupied. Restart with 1 second. Use wooden, silver, gold, gem according to treasure quality. Pen treasure frequency and treasure quality to perk ID. Extend all perk data with treasure frequency values. Yep, treasure quality values. Clamped runtime accessors used by both tooltips and chest granting. That part I don't totally understand why that wouldn't already exist. Copy both supplied SVGs into the perk art and the other Godot imports. Yep. Replace treasure spirit purchase dialog with this. Remove the obsolete chest offers, purchase callbacks, affordability wiring, now unreferenced treasure, chest option row. Yeah, it is a little bit sad. I've never liked this, whether I write the code or someone else writes the code or AI writes the code, but like this dialogue is working totally fine. We just don't need it anymore. So we're going to delete it. And the game is better off for not having it, but like the code is already written. It's already working. So just sad. Timer is internal with no countdown UI and continues while dialogues are open. Yeah, nice. All right, cool. This is all totally great. So how much of the plan did I use? 71, 73. After planning and before implementing. All right, so now we can get back to game design for a bit. So what is the next game design question that we have? The Dungeon Runner, Checkpoint 2, and then some other bundles that I got. Also, okay. So I wait, where's Tiny Swords? Hang on a second. And what is this? No, I accidentally pasted the same thing in twice. Hang on a second. Let me find Tiny Swords here. All right, so Tiny Swords. I came up with an idea for this. And I kind of like this, but it's, I don't know what it would be like in practice. So I've been talking about tower defense and an RTS, and yeah, maybe something like that can still happen. But what I was thinking is, what if it was kind of like those games, but with Super Smash Bros. Mechanics? So your entire goal, instead of like things have a health bar and you defeat them, your entire goal is to just push stuff off of your island. So when you go and attack someone, they move like a little bit away from you, and then they, you know, their percentage rises, and then they go farther and farther away from you the next time you hit them. So then the towers can act like pinball bumpers, where when you hit someone into a tower, it just goes like boing and just bounces them off into the water. I think that would be a very interesting idea. And yeah, we would need to answer a lot of questions about it, but it could work. So I was thinking you maybe directly control, I don't know, just some unit. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I haven't finished designing it, but I like that idea of like turning this into Smash Bros. I think it'd be fun. It'd also be pretty unexpected in terms of how this generally works. But part of what made me come to this conclusion is like we have this animation here where you fade out a character and there's a little water splash, and that water splash looks really nice. I just thought, yeah, what if that was the goal of the game? Just push everything into the water. Push defense. Yeah. But we should talk about the Dungeon Runner, because I was thinking of starting work on that maybe even next week. So where is the Dungeon Runner? I'm excited about that. It's going to be pretty cool. All right, so for this, we have this bundle. I bought all of these yesterday. And for those who haven't seen me open this, which you probably have at this point, but yeah, it's like this style of graphics. I like this. I think this looks pretty good. They've got a character here. And this has a bunch of different animations. And I think it should be enough for us. Because it's going to be mostly about running. Tower defenestrate. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no real windows. But that is... I feel like you can almost make that work. Yeah, I have a general amount of the game planned out. Let me also just put this over on my other screen so I can still see it. You know what I'd like to figure out? I have notifications turned off while I'm streaming. Is there a way to allow them for like one app? Maybe I could wire something up that'll tell me. Or maybe you can have notifications go through Do Not Disturb mode. I should look into that. Yeah, maybe that's possible. I'll write that for the afternoon of Tuesday. See if I can have codex notifications bypass D&D mode on the OS. Also, I should probably just update to Tahoe at this point. I just heard enough horror stories about the UI, but like I don't really care, and I probably won't even see much of the UI because I have full screen apps most of the time. They go straight to the e-ink display. That would cause refresh cycles. That would destroy the battery. All right, so you are going through a dungeon, getting used to your controls. When you encounter a wall with a crack in it, you use a bomb on it. The bomb causes the entire dungeon to start falling away. The dungeon floor to start falling away, and the game becomes an endless runner style game. Yeah, how does the bombing part work? Maybe dungeon was already endless and the bomb just caused urgency that you didn't really have up until then. I like this idea. So the dungeon would pretty much like always look like this. Yeah. Still waiting on gambling mechanic. Hey, stop using AI. I mean, that's what this game was kind of supposed to be. This loot boxes game. Not really gambling, but like you get a bunch of loot boxes and you open them. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Scratch his neck. How you doing? Stop using AI. How's your Friday going? We have this. Yeah, okay, good. All right, wouldn't really make sense for you to use bombs after this since you know they blow up the floor. Maybe it's essentially a cutscene that plays out. See, I'm picturing you're running through a dungeon. You've got, I don't know, some coins you're collecting. Then you get to the section where it's like, oh, there's something in your way. Destroy that. Hang on one second. Hang on. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. My wife was calling me. Whoops, from the other room. We went to a farmer's market yesterday and we got some like fancy bagels. I was like, I want to try one of these. So she gave me a bite right now. I didn't know if there was something more urgent than that. If I'd known it was a bagel, I would have probably just held off. So, yeah, you would put a bomb here, let's say. There's a rock in the way. And I was thinking, though, the floor should start falling from over here, maybe. Sounds pretty urgent to me. Hey, Galaxy Bruno. It's hot. Yeah. It's been very pleasant here, which makes you feel even worse when people are like, oh, yeah, there's a heat wave. There's just a molten lava is just crashing through our town. And I'm like, oh, really? And I have to turn up the heat. It's not that cold over here, but it's pleasant. Yeah, I think this is the issue I wanted to think of. Maybe. Okay, no, maybe you are going the other direction. Actually, I didn't think about that. That's kind of cool. Maybe you're traveling from right to left until you reach the bombable wall, then you need to backtrack, and the dungeon goes endlessly to the right. It doesn't really make sense. Like, how did you enter this dungeon? Hey, yo, long time no see. Happy 76 months. I hope you're doing well. What is the news? Are you also suffering from the heat wave? I actually don't think it would have hit where you are. I mean, it could be that you got to a fork in the road and that you chose one particular path. Yeah, maybe that's how it works. Maybe you enter the dungeon and immediately see... Are there locked doors in this? It wouldn't be that hard to probably add them, but... They have archways. Archways never really work, right? Unless they split it up so you can put just the arch on another layer. Which I guess we could always do. Maybe crates are blocking your path and you just don't have a sword at first. And you go get your sword and bombs and use the bombs in that room. There are keys. I guess the keys are for the treasure chest, not for doors, huh? What am I even doing? I bought this. I can just go download it. Yeah, what am I doing? Download now. No thanks. Just take me to downloads. Wait. No, it doesn't know that I... No, it doesn't know you own this. Yeah, download. There we go. Okay, so download the full version here. And let's go try that out. See what we have. 8 megabytes. Wow. So download tar-xbf./dungeon. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, let's make a new folder, dungeon graphics. All right, so they're all over here. Let's see what we've got. Items, potions, tiles. Are there any locked doors here? I don't see any. No, yeah, I don't see any. Are these just mock-ups? All tiles V2. Is there a door in here? No, wait. Yeah, there are those doors. Yeah. What am I doing? Of course there are doors. We saw it in the graphic here. It's just not necessarily locked. And we can indicate that it's locked by just playing a sound effect or something when you go up to it. Yeah, this. Okay, so maybe that's how we do this. Although another problem we're going to have is that the door still takes up space when it's open. I guess we just let you walk through it anyway. Like, this is a character width wide. Maybe just fade out the door once you open it. Yeah, that could probably work. Yeah, no, heat wave. Well, that's been great. Yeah, that's what I figured. All right, well, anyway, this is kind of what I'm thinking, at least, is maybe you enter the dungeon and immediately see a locked door on your right and an open door on the left. So you go left, you work your way up until you get bombs. You try using them on a cracked wall. Maybe the camera stops moving so that you're forced to try this. And then the floor starts crumbling. You have to run back where you came and open the locked door. How do you store or categorize it next time for future use? So there are a few portions of this. One is storage. For now, I'm just like leaving them on itch until I need them. And then once I need them, I use only the ones that, like, I keep only the ones in the repo that we actually use. So lots of these packs, like this one, for example, we've got barrels with water coming out, right? Like I might not put this in the game. And if I do, I might not put all 3 styles of it into the game. So I might only put in the ones that I use. And then I've been tracking inside, I'll show you. I've been tracking over here how much money I've spent on everything. Yeah. So yeah, so far, assuming you don't count like my AI subscription. But yeah, AI subscription, $20 per month. There's some tax. But yeah, so I spent 94 bucks on assets so far. And yesterday I spent, I think, 50. And there were some packs I was on the fence about. One of them was a Solaria pack. I still really, really like the artwork for this, but I just don't have a great idea or need for it. I think this is very nice artwork. And they have lots of different packs here too. And one of them was this one. And I thought, you know, you could just make like a blacksmithing game that takes place on a small amount of the screen. But yeah, so I did not buy this. This would have been, I think, $35 for the bundle. Yeah. But I did buy a couple other ones that I thought, I don't have a fully fleshed out idea yet, but I have enough of one. Like this one was $8. Again, I just really, really like this art style. I like the idea of what you might be able to do in a game like this. They have an animated picture here. They don't have one for this that I was thinking of, but they have it in another one of these. Here, this one. This has it. Yeah. Like this is just really cool looking. And I like the simplicity of the game you might make with this. And well, the bench game, yeah, I haven't looked into that anymore. So I'm looking forward to fleshing out these games too. All right, let's get back to code for a little bit. Then we'll get back to game design after that. So let's see what this did. First wooden chest arrives after 1 second. Successful grants use perk wait times. Occupied stands retry. All right, let's go just test it out. This is really cool. We're moving forward with this. Today's been pretty fun. All right, so we're going to load this up. So we just got a treasure chest. Open the treasure chest near me to start earning loot. So we open this. We got some loot. Now the character tells us, now you have loot, you need customers. Interact with the perk board here to allow them to visit. So if we just close this, it doesn't do anything. How much have you been using coding agents? I think the last time I was here, you were just starting to try them out. I've been using them more and more. I now think they're like the optimal way for me to be developing this particular game, at least. Like the nice thing about Godot is that all these scene files are, you might as well consider them to be JSON. It's a structured way of describing what a scene contains. And as a result of being in this style, like AI can see it and interact with it. So there are a lot of really annoying things to set up manually, like the, let's see, the platformer player. We have a ton of animations in here. And then these animations all exist on this animation player. So if I'm like, okay, I want to add an attack animation, I don't want to go fill out all this stuff. And like, I just want to give it a sprite sheet and say, yeah, go chop this up for me and make the animation and then go add the animation in the animation tree. And it does that stuff. And here, for example, it just made all of these changes. We need to review them and everything. But yeah, we are automatically getting treasure chests. If I were to open this, we should get another treasure chest after 1 second. Yeah, nice. And now it should take 23 more seconds or something. I'm not going to count this. But if we speed it up, it should be about 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, perfect. All right, so get customers. Oh, did I ever plan for this? Oh, nice. This does work perfectly. Wow. Is that Codex? Yeah, that's Codex. Yeah, I was using Claude originally, and I liked it well enough. And then for kind of personal reasons, I decided I should switch to Codex. All right, this is pretty cool. Yeah, wow. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't try talking to the treasure spirit. We gotta go do that. And I think you can do it during the tutorial. You wouldn't have a reason to, and they're not telling you to do it, but you could anyway. So let's go see what that feels like. What if there's more to life than just opening treasure chests? Yeah, nice. That's it. All right, pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Oh, I didn't try upgrading. Okay, I'm not actually even testing everything. I'm just so excited. Hey, Savakins. I think Claude, in my limited experience, Claude seemed like it was better, but I didn't use it for very long. It was about a month, and I hadn't been using AI for very long before that. So maybe I've improved at how I prompt things. But yeah, this process of like come up with a spec, give it to AI, it does it pretty much correctly the first time, or minor changes that to make afterward. It's been pretty nice. All right, so we're gonna hit grant most things. I want to get some more treasure stands here. Where are the stands? There they are. All right, so we get a few of those. They're starting to grant chests. Then we get this. So now we should get a silver chest next. Excuse me, and let's increase the frequency. There. Ideally, that takes effect immediately. Probably need to change that. So we should get a silver treasure chest. Shouldn't be too much longer from now. What is happening? There we go. And now the next one should be in 10 seconds, so that shouldn't be too long to wait. I should have been counting. There it is. All right, now let's get another treasure stand, and let's max this. So we should get gemmed treasure. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Yeah, I just got to move the perk board. Loot boxes. Oh, I'll do that in a separate commit. I don't want to poison this. Move the perk board so that getting another treasure stand doesn't get you stuck. All right, let's review some code. So this stuff should all be so straightforward that there can't really be a problem. Yeah, we have our upgrade times. We have what the upgrades are. We have the icon. We have the name. It's all good. This is what I was talking about when it said clamping. This is fine. This is also fine. The order of the... Okay, this is something I got to change eventually. The order of the perks might need to change. Consider what the perk order should be. At the very least, we may want to organize them by price, but it may make more sense to put the most interesting ones first. Also, for the sake of not overwhelming the player, this is a balancing thing. Balance. We should only have like 2 to 3 perks be easily accessible at the beginning. Hey, Broser, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Welcome in. All right, what was I just thinking though before this? Somebody read my mind. What was it? Because there was some issue I wanted to potentially address, and I don't remember what it is anymore. Was it with upgrades? I don't remember. Yeah. Hey, Ninja, happy birthday. I hope it's going well. In between school, you got to celebrate. You're the streamer for today. I'll watch while eating. Well, yeah, welcome in. And I should be streaming for long enough, assuming you're not eating for like an hour and a half. But I got to get food myself in about probably half an hour or so. All right. Yeah, I think this is looking good. I don't remember what it was I was just thinking about, though. Was it here? No, I talked about perk order. Okay, well, anyway. Increases how often you're granted treasure chest. Yeah, we should probably just do a text pass over this in the cleanup. Like, look over the text of everything, mostly perks, to see if we would want to improve anything or make it more consistently worded. Yeah. Well, thanks, Ninja. Hey, NSO. Small pizza. I'll be done in about 10 minutes, more or less. Oh, wow. Okay. What's on the pizza? I just had pizza last night. We went to a friend's place. They bought a couple of pizzas. And a salad. And the salad was actually surprisingly good. I'm going to say, actually, though, I don't think it should be surprising me anymore that salads are tasty. All right, this looks good. What do we have here? Got rid of treasure chest option row. That entire thing should be deleted. It is. It's just sad that it's deleted. Grant delay seconds. Treasure chest grant retry delay seconds. That's all fine. Yeah, we don't need this anymore. Treasure chest row, buy treasure chest dialogue. Yep, that's all fine. Grant. That's good too. This is apparently able to be set to private. Yeah. Money can be made private in loot boxes. Not sure what pizza it is. I mean, can't you just look at it and see what's on top of it? What's my go-to pizza topping? Spinach. It is the best pizza topping. Spinach pizzas are just really good. I feel like they have to be homemade though. This is not like a common thing that you just go out and get, but yeah, something like this. Oh, that looks delicious. Yeah. Now, if I can't have that, which I don't know why I wouldn't be able to, because it's a hypothetical anyway, what would be the next best thing? I don't know. There's like arugula and fig is pretty good. Yeah, like this kind of pizza. Yeah, it's pretty nice too. Anchovies, pineapple, chicken, tuna, and sweet corn. Wow, yeah. I don't know if I ever had a pizza with tuna on it. Spinach and mushrooms with white sauce is peak. Well, now I'm hungry. Hey, Kevin. What's your lunch plan for today? And hey, Chapongo. All right, this is looking fine. Empty stand. If it's null, restart this. Otherwise, create a chest and then restart the timer anyway. Sounds good. Set the dialogue. This is fine. We just have set focus controls to nothing. Dismissed. We don't have treasure chests offers. We don't need any of that stuff. I'm glad I deleted that. So on dismissal here, if the treasure period dialogue is not null and the instance is valid, delete, it's dismissed. Did we always do this? Dismissed minus equal. We did. Sure, that's fine. Hey, thought stopped. Kebab pizza? I don't know if I've had that. Oh, you have leftover pizza too. Wow. Just a pizza week for everybody, huh? Yeah, kebab pizza sounds interesting too. Man. All right, this is good. This is good. Yep, this is fine. This is fine too, but isn't this in 2 different locations? It is. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that is a problem. Okay, so we should delete it from wherever that scene is. Loot boxes, dialogue box. Yeah, loot boxes, dialogue box. This is going to say set via code. Then it's auto translate is going to be set to disabled. And the is going to be, yeah, set via code. And also disable this. I don't want that text in 2 places. And I should probably make sure that this isn't anywhere else. Make sure we don't have any strings manifested in 2 places. The AI did this in the case of which treasure chest would you like to buy? But I already fixed that one. All right. So that's looking good, right? Yeah. Perk ID should be, yep, just the 2 lines. Good. Perks dialogue, just added the new 2 perks. Great. This is me messing around with something. So let's delete that. Then this is all the stuff we deleted from the purchase dialogue. It's a little bit sad that it's gone, but whatever. It's gone. And then our icons. Yeah, this all looks pretty good. All right, so automatically grant treasure chests. There are 2 new perks as well. Treasure frequency and treasure quality. Treasure frequency and treasure quality. Yeah, pretty nice. All right, so now there was one tiny thing we needed to do. Move the perk board. Yep. This is probably going to end up moving again at some point. Is this going to crash Godot? No, thank goodness. All right, so where's the perk board? There. So we're just going to move this up a little bit so it doesn't block, or you don't get blocked when you go interact with treasure stands. So that's it. Move perk board a bit. It was too close to the where treasure stands could appear, which means you could get stuck if you upgraded treasure stands while standing in a certain position. And that's something we should also write in the cleanup section. So this is done. This is done. Cleanup is down here. Make sure you can't get stuck. And file a task for Dark to work on the map when buying treasure stands or item displays. Item displays shouldn't be a problem. They're far enough from the perk board. All right, chests should fade in on their stands when they're created rather than immediately appearing. Yeah, sure. So make chests fade in on their stands. Yeah. All right, now while that's working, make chests fade in. You cannot open chests until their meters are filled. Rationale, it's not a very interesting decision. So I think this is going to be obvious enough to players. Like, you'll try to open it. It should probably play a bonk sound if you try opening it and you can't. Let's add that somewhere. Sound effects, make treasure chests play a bonk sound if you try opening them before they're ready. So the loot multiplier should no longer be a thing. Yeah, where is that? Open chest. Here it is. Fill amount when opened. Yeah, this should just be deleted. This is not QWERTY, no. Welcome in Raisin. This is a Colmac DH keyboard. I've got my key map over here if you ever want to take a look. But if you just look at the letter layer here, so if I close this, you can see it is QuiffPib. And then JLUY. I switched to this. I guess I switched to it when I made this video, right? So when was this video? Oh, no, it's not this video. It's this video. And there's a spreadsheet in here somewhere. Where's that spreadsheet? Okay, so it's been 3 years that I've been on Colmac. And yeah, my very first typing test I did, I was apparently at like 13 words per minute. Then again, it wasn't on the full keyboard, I think. And after 3 years, I'm not sure that it was a good decision to switch from QWERTY. Hey, Cozy. Doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well. QuiffPib? QuiffPib rolls off the tongue. This is Graphite like half a year ago, averaging 120 words per minute. Yeah, I think switches are mainly motivated by one of two things. Either some kind of like pain or strain or efficiency. And I don't think I really gained any efficiency. And I didn't have pain to begin with, which is why I say I don't think it was worthwhile. And I've been debating, should I switch back? I don't feel like putting in the effort anymore. Perfectly fine on regular keyboards. Yeah, I don't really have a problem even on this keyboard because I was using, well, anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so now treasure chest should fade in. Why didn't customize the layout to start? Adam learns. That would be actually pretty funny. I think there's a decent amount of science that goes into making a layout, which is why I didn't want to do anything myself. All right, let's upgrade. Oh, that's what I want to write down. Oh my God, I remember now. When you upgrade the treasure frequency, it should apply the effect immediately. Hopefully I remember what that means in the future. All right, so can we test this? Is this going to be too hard to do? I want more treasure stands. I want to increase the frequency. All right, I just want to make sure, does this fade in when you get a treasure chest? And it might take a while. So we're just standing here waiting. There it is. Yep, it faded in. Yeah, maybe make it fade in a little bit faster. That's all. I just don't want it to appear immediately. So fade duration seconds, 8.5. Yeah, that's too much. Maybe like 0.4. fade in, use physics process mode. It's just visual. So actually the physics process mode probably shouldn't matter. So now it's twice as fast, but that doesn't really mean anything. So let's go try it out. Can I just set the... Yeah, let's take a look. The very first chest should fade in. So if I just watch it, we should see it. Yeah, nice. Yeah, and 0.4 seems pretty good. I like that. Okay, so fade in treasure chests. They used to immediately appear before this. Done with that. All right, so this one. What is that frequency called? Treasure frequency, here it is. So when the player upgrades perk ID.treasure frequency, it should immediately subtract the difference between the old levels time and the new levels time from the ongoing timer. If the resulting time is less than 0, the timeout should trigger. For example, what are the values? Yeah. So on upgrading it for the first time, the difference between 25 and 20 would mean that we subtract 5 seconds from the timer. Yeah, if it doesn't get this for whatever reason, we can just change this. Let me take a look at the status that we have here. Yeah, 59%. This is what blows my mind. And I don't know if this is like my usage of AI or not, but I find it hard to use the 5-hour window now. Part of the reason is because I'm about to take a lunch break soon. So I don't think we're going to get down to 0% here. But yeah, my workflow of like, okay, figure out what work we need to do, then turn it into prompts and do it, test it out, whatever else. It's like, this does still take enough time where I don't end up burning through all the tokens. Anyway, all right, you cannot open chests until their meters are filled. Yeah, let's write a prompt for this thing too. So prevent the player from being able to open treasure chests until their meters are completely filled. When the meters do become filled, fade them out entirely and start. There's some particle animation. Where is that? Yeah, emitting. So we have an open that plays all that. I think we play the particle animation ahead of time then. But it'd be kind of nice if there was something else. Maybe we put like a rainbow outline on it to indicate that you can go activate it. That might be nice, but that would involve changing the shader that we have right now. We have the outline shader from Skeleseller that we could use for that. Yeah, I think I like the outline better. Use an outline shader. And change colors when you get close enough. This it might not do a good job at, but this thing got finished, right? Yeah, implemented. Let's take a look at how it did this. So wait time reduction. Adjust the time minus this. Stop it. And if it's less than this, otherwise start it with the adjusted time. Yeah, that's probably fine. And what else do we change over here? Perk ID is treasure frequency. Do this. Yeah. All right. It's reasonable. Let's go try it out. So here's what's going to happen. We got to test this, and we got to be careful how we test this. So I'm going to grant myself a bunch of money. We got our first treasure chest. We're going to read a bunch of treasure stands. And then we're going to wait a little bit. Oh, wait, why did we get... What happened? Something was wrong there. I hit grant most things, and then I bought another treasure stand, and I immediately got a treasure chest. did I wait? Maybe. Oh, I don't remember what I did. But all right, let's go get more treasure stands then. All right, so as soon as we get one, start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We should get a treasure chest. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. That's it. So that way, if I don't know why you do this, but if you got all 5 upgrades at once, instead of having to wait upwards of 25 seconds because that was your original wait time, now you can only have to wait up to 10 seconds. And since some time would have passed in you doing this, it's probably gonna be more like 3 or 4 or 5 seconds. Yeah, so now we can open these. We don't have space for any of these items. All right, but yeah, looking good. Cool, cool, cool. So allow for upgrading, or like apply treasure frequency benefit immediately. So you used to have to wait like, I think it's, I should write a comment here. So instead of having to wait for whatever time was set when the prior chest was open, the timer now decreases every time you upgrade the perk. Yeah, it's feeling pretty good. All right, so that's done. Prevent the player from being able to open treasure chests. Yeah, let's go write this stuff over here. So the outline shader stuff, I got to go look into this. This part's going to be a little bit more difficult. We have a shader right now for, yeah, interactable outline. And this doesn't work perfectly anyway. But over here we have the outline GD shader. And I'd like to use this. Yeah, I'd like to use this. I wonder if we should... And common shader functions, what's in there? Common shader functions. Has contrary neighbor is H flip. Oh my god, I forgot about this. Oh god. I mean, the current one that we have doesn't work great. Yeah. And the way you can see this manifest is when you go near an item display, it highlights the top of it weirdly. If I just zoom in over here. Well, I guess I'm a little too close. Let's just move like that. Yeah, there. So yeah, you can see it just doesn't highlight those 2 pixels correctly. Is there a reason why those 2? No, there's nothing special about those. So it must be, oh, maybe it has to do with the sprite next to them and I need to crop them correctly. Let's go see if we can figure out more about that. Sprites, world, super retro world. I think it's in here. Yeah, that is the problem. Look at that. It's finding these pixels on top, I think. What's a little bit strange is that it doesn't apply for 4 pixels. It only applies it for 2. Oh, maybe because it's checking. Okay, yeah, it's probably those 2 in particular because they have diagonal neighbors as well. Is that what we're seeing in the picture? Yes, it is. Mystery solved. All right, so the way you fix this is by applying the texture crop thing. Let's go see if we can do that easily because I think it should be pretty simple. Crop. Oh, we don't have it? What? Why did I do that? Oh, why didn't I do that? I've never needed this up until now. Maybe we've had a problem and I've just never noticed. If I go over to here and do one of these, yeah, we just never added it. Well, well, well. So I guess we add this in now. So texture crop sprite 2D. Where should we put you? Probably in Godot. Yeah. Add class texture crop sprite 2D. capitalized? Yes. Do you want to add to get? Yes. Okay. And then we need the using stuff here. Namespace should be changed. And there we have it. So I need 2 cropped texture. Where do you live? 2 cropped texture. This is inside texture extensions. Do we have a texture extensions over here? Where are you? Godot. I don't see texture. I would have named it texture, so let's just search for texture X. Yeah, no, I don't think we have it. You create all the graphics? No. I do not do any visual art. I did all the music for the game, and I did pretty much all the game design. But yeah, I don't do artwork. All right, so we need this. Let's go add this in. Texture extensions. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think game dev is a lot of fun. There are so many parts to it that I don't think you need to be an expert at everything now. And I think it's harder to make a game if you do try to do everything on your own. And that's where things like itch really come in handy, because I've been getting asset packs from here. And what am I doing? Oh, there. Yeah. Yeah. So the particular game that I'm making right now, it lends itself well to getting asset packs, because we can just look at something like this and be like, all right, we got some movement animations, we got some crops. Yeah, let's make a farming mini game. And that's it. But if you were trying to do this in a standalone game, you'd be like, all right, we have one character. It looks kind of like a cat or something. And you might want like 10 characters. You might want different crops. You would then need to expand this asset pack fitting the art style. And it would just be harder to do. It's not impossible. And like, that's what I did for Scala Seller. Not by doing the art myself, but Quickie Joe did that. Oh, nice. Yeah. And nice to get some industry experience too while you're learning. So yeah, I've been pretty excited about this. By the way, for those who haven't seen and who might be new to the stream, the game that I'm working on is stuck in a broken tutorial. Let me turn this down. I should probably change that sooner rather than later. In fact, let's write a note about that. Before too long, change the default master volume to 50% or so. Anyway, it takes you through a bunch of different games. So yeah, in all of these, you're starting in what looks like just pretty much a regular game. And you eventually find a way out of the current game and into a new game. So this is the first sub game that we have. It's a platformer, and the brokenness is immediately apparent. You try making a jump, you cannot make that jump, and you fall and fall and fall. And I like this. I like that within the first pretty much minute of you playing a game, you figure out, all right, this isn't what it seems like. What am I in for here? And yeah, I'll just let this run for now. Create applications that use AI to enhance images and video. Oh, neat. Yeah. I'm glad this can be helpful. So the game you saw me working on is actually the fourth game. This is the second one here. The characters of horns, I think it looks good like that. Yeah, that was Quickie Joe's decision, and it's also removed from the logo. I think it's the right decision. I'm still not totally sold on how the hair looks right now in the game. But do I might not have this easily accessible. Let me see if I do. All right, I have at least part of it. Yeah. So here's one of the logos that we have. This one's got the wrong colors, I think. Let's try that one. No, wait, what? These are the muted colors, right? I think I messed this up. All right, well, there it is. That's the one I was trying to show. So we just ignore the other one. And yeah, here we see there are no horns. I really like how the outline was done for the hair here. I think just something's off very slightly about the hair in the game. And part of it has to do with how we colorize the sprites, and part of it has to do with what happened here? Oh, right. I started to write this code and I never actually finished it. Well, anyway, yeah. Part of it has to do with how we colorize the sprites, and part of it has to do with the removal of the horns. And I gotta put some more thought into that. In fact, we should probably do that today. So non-loot boxes work that I should probably do. And figure out how I want the hair to look for the platformer character. Oops. All right, let's finish writing this. So texture extensions, we want all of this stuff in there. Or at least 2 crop texture. What does this get texture cache key? We use this even in here too. I see. All right, I'll just copy the whole thing. And I'll have AI convert this to the new like extension format. Actually, wait, can't this do it? I think it can. Now it knows that it's used. Does this say convert to extension? Yeah, nice. Perfect. Okay, we don't even need AI for that. British spelling. How did this make it in there? Huh. British spelling. There's no place for that in this code base. We spell color with no U's. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, I think the rest of this is probably fine. So the region's apparently never used in here. Texture cache key. Interesting. I wonder if that was a mistake. We call get on this. Maybe region not value. Name does not match real properties. Positional property is never accessed. But we store in the dictionary, right? I think that should still work. Oh, Stone, thanks for subbing. Welcome in. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's used for the hashing. Yeah. So names, I mean, we could change these to this style, name and region. And then what is this? Does not match rule. Yep. Change that too. All right, so now this should work, and we should be able to use it inside here. So texture crop, we put this over here, and now the outline should look good. So we shouldn't see 2 pixels that are just randomly not covered. Nice. Nice. All right, what about over here? I can't tell because there's a treasure chest on it, so let's get rid of the treasure chest. Yeah, that looks good. What about here? Yep. What about over here? I think that's right. It's outlining. It's doing something kind of weird with a shadow. I didn't even notice this until now. Here's what it's doing. Whoop. Yeah, it's coloring it yellow. We probably need like a transparency threshold like we had before. Hey, Sarah. They were always a bit wonky, yeah. And I don't think it's a problem even if we left it like that. So I'm going to check this in. Item display now uses the texture crop stuff. Add texture crop script to item displays. This is so that the outline looks correct. Before this, 2 pixels on the top of it wouldn't be outlined because in the sprite sheet there are opaque pixels surrounding those 2. All right. So let's write the prompt for this. I want to get some food. Problem is waking up early is that I started eating lunch earlier and earlier, and now it's weird for me to say like, all right, it's 11:20, time to eat. But like that's what my stomach's telling me. So what are we gonna do? Ignore my stomach? No, thank you. Prevent the player from being able to open treasure chests in the loot boxes game until their meters are completely filled. When the meters do become filled, fade them out entirely and outline the chests with an animated rainbow border. Use, what's that shader called? Interactable outline.gg shader. Yeah, use interactable outline for that. When the player is close enough to interact with the chest while it's glowing rainbow, indicate this by changing the thickness of the rainbow border. Okay, perfect. Oh, you? What is that you about? Lunch early? Guess it's time to sleep in. Yeah, I want to sleep in more. I've just been doing too much lately. And I felt this now for a couple of weeks, and I need to take time off of working. And I also don't think that this would naturally stop for another like week or two, because we tend to like book our calendar pretty far in advance. So yeah, we still have plans for the next like 2 weeks figured out. And I got to take some time off at some point. And I didn't realize I'm so disconnected from like the corporate holiday vacation schedule that even though I know tomorrow's July 4th, it doesn't register with me that like, oh, this is a day off for most people in the US. So I didn't even think to take the day off. But it worked out well. I was excited about today. I think it's been going really well. All right, so this is fine. And then what else do we do? So now the percent open, when we have open chest over here, this is fill amount when open. So yeah, stop considering fill amount when opened at all and just always grant 3 items. Or anything else? Attempting to open the chest before it's ready should play. What is that sound effect? UI button denied. Yeah. All right, when the meters do become filled, fade them out entirely over 0.5 seconds and outline the chest with an animated rainbow border. When the player is close enough to interact with a chest while it's glowing rainbow, indicate this by changing the thickness, by increasing the thickness. Or maybe saturation? Yeah. And stop considering fill amount when open at all and just always grant 3 items. Yeah. All right, I'm going to have it plan this one. And we'll at least sit around for the plan. While that's running, let's go fill out a Z journal. This is not for the entire day yet, obviously, but we can fill it out for this morning. And yeah, it's been a pretty good combo of developing and designing. Did game design alongside some AI coding today. Very productive morning. Yeah, this morning's been great. And I'm really happy with the new ideas here that we've got. And we'll see them all in action pretty soon, right? We have this one. That's the same as this. You have to manually open chests. That's still the case, right? Yeah, so that we can just delete. You have a perk that lets you change which treasure chest you get. We already did that. Yeah, so once this one's done, we're probably able to get a pretty good idea of like, does this feel like a good enough gameplay loop? Then there's balancing and everything. That's going to be tough, but a different kind of tough. Yeah. Like I said, I just want this thing to run and then I'll probably take my lunch break pretty soon. But yeah, it's been going great. I don't even mind if this afternoon turns into like just design, but we can probably work on some code amongst that. But yeah, we still have some questions to answer for this game. And then we could start working on this game next week, maybe. I've been saying this a lot, but the plan is to spend all of July, sans, whatever vacation days I take, working toward checkpoint 2. And I'm hoping on August 1st, like that Saturday, that I can start doing playtests, which actually I guess means that on the 24th or so, I should book those playtests. So let me write that down too. Where is my Tuesday afternoon? There it is. All right, so make a calendar reminder for the 23rd or 24th to book playtest sessions for the first. I could even start a little bit early since I want to stagger them. I need to figure out, and this is part of the design we need to do this afternoon, like where are the story beats happening? The way that the game is currently orchestrated is that you are dropped right into the platformer game. So if we go here, whoops, that's not right. If we go here. So you're dropped right into the platformer game. This is fine. I think this is a great intro to the game. I think this does everything I wanted to do. I have no problems with this. Then you get into the farming game, and I start to have a little bit more of a problem. This is more story driven, and I think we need to do something to punch this game up a little bit. Then you go from this into the top-down shooter, and this is more just gameplay driven. There is brokenness here, but it's a little bit more subtle, especially your first time through. So I think after this game, you should get a little bit more story fed to you. Yeah. Okay, let's see what this plan is. How should the existing gold proximity outline behave on treasure stands that currently contain a chest? Oh, whoops. I did not even think about this. Unready chests show only their meter. Ready chests use a thin rainbow outline that thickens in range. Yeah, I think we just get rid of this. Is vibe coding the real unlock? Like for being able to get this stuff done? Because honestly, I think this has been fantastic for just, yeah, implementing these things so much faster than I would normally have. And one of the true tests of it was, like I said, I just got this device, this terminal. It's an e-ink display, and I want to render some stuff on it. And I didn't need the display in order to figure out what I want to render. And I had AI write all of that stuff. And it still took a decent amount of time, even with AI. But without it, it would have taken me several more hours. And I still kind of assert that I wouldn't mind doing that if I knew, okay, I'm going to be working with this for a year. Okay, I should learn how this works. I should do it by hand. But this is a thing that, like, I just want the device to work. So, like, I don't care to learn it really. Part of it was like, oh yeah, this won't take very long and it'll be a nice project. All right, I just want this plan to finish. As I mentioned, here it is. Yep, it got done. Oh no, it's not done yet. Now it's done. Okay, let's go take a look. Chests remain locked until fully filled. Oh, we could play a little like, I should write this down. Maybe it's not a bonk sound. Maybe it's like a sound of something trying to be unlocked, but that can't. Actually, maybe it should be a metallic sound of like a clink sound indicating that you can't open it yet. I don't know if we have that sound. Track is fully filled in treasure chest. Set it when the fill tween finishes. Start the meter fade. Apply a rainbow configured this. Yep. Extend shader with optional animated rainbow mode. Yep. Extend interact region with a default outline toggle and focus change event. Why? Okay, sure. For readiness, interact raises a denial event without opening. Sounds good. Change opened from action float to action. Remove that. Fill based item count calculation. Every successful opening contains exactly 3 items. Yep. Preserve one shot opening guard and reorder modified scene script so ready is first and then it follows it. Sure. Okay. Yeah. This is good. We're gonna have to implement this. I want to also take a quick look at my usage here. We're at 51 and 69%. Where did my thing go here? So close everything, 51, 69% before implementing the chest opening rules. Yeah, it's been really good. All right, I am going to go take my lunch break. It is 11:30. I'll be back in about an hour. And I should stream for another probably 2-3 hours in the afternoon. I think it's going to be the same mix of some game design and game dev, but I think we need to steer a little bit more heavily toward game design in the afternoon. So it'll be mostly this document-based stuff. And I'll just write that down over here. Did I even fill out the journal? Yeah, I did. It's a very productive morning. Okay, so afternoon, probably focus more on the design than the development, since I want to nail down the remaining questions before too long passes. Maybe we can work. Oh, yeah, I just don't want to distract myself. Whew, okay, well, great morning from my point of view. I hope you've all had a good time being here. I'll be back in about an hour, like I said, and I hope to see you then. If not, though, have a good weekend and take care. Goodbye, everyone.